All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Way of the Dad Live, Stripe Stream number 7. It's, the season is moving along, ain't it? So, welcome in. If you haven't been here before, or if you have and you haven't subscribed yet, I do ask, I'd love to see you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications for when videos are going to be posted or live streams are coming up. And then, of course, I believe it also notifies you anytime I make a community post. And I use that a lot to kind of announce when things are going to go, when things are going to happen on the channel. I'm going to try to do some polls maybe going forward. We'll see. So yeah, it's what is going on here? Okay. Says the stream health is not perfect. We'll try that. See if that makes YouTube happier. Okay. That's weird. Said the audio stream's current bitrate was 0. Lower than the recommended bitrate. But it's not 0. So who knows? Anyway. Yeah, we'll get into tonight we're going to get into the game that we had against the Panthers and talk a little bit about what's going to happen, or at least what could happen during the bye week. So we'll see about that. Why does it keep telling me? Let's see if I can check it myself. Okay. So yeah, it's weird. Said the audio stream. All right, so that's weird. YouTube's lying to me. I don't know why. Saying that my audio bitrate is 0, but it's not, and it works just fine. I just checked it, just listened to myself, which is not a big fan of that, but I guess part of what I have to do doing this. So, okay. So anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted by YouTube, and it's 100% not accurate. I don't know. Stream widget. So yeah, we're gonna recap the Panthers game, and then we'll talk about some bye week stuff. There's not a lot to talk about, to be honest, but there's some stuff there. Injury front stuff. Maybe some changes coming out of the bye week. But there's not a lot, so we won't have to get into that too much. But before we do all that, it is time. The ceremonial making of the drink of the night. And what is Dad's choice drink of the night? It is Heaven Hill Bourbon. And of course, wow, that bottle looks so strange because it's got green on it, which, again, one of the big reasons why I eventually want to get my real background that's behind this green screen up and open and available, because I have a really cool Guinness hat that I like, but it's got a green, is it a 4-leaf clover? I don't know. Whatever. It's got a green clover on it. And so I can't wear it because then this logo would just be whatever's on the screen behind me. So kind of annoying. I got to make sure I never put anything green on. Otherwise I've got like holes in my body or whatever, just like there's holes in this bottle right now somehow. But it's actually green. So it's actually a decent bourbon for I don't want to call it cheap as in it's bad, but for a more cost-effective bottle of bourbon, it's not bad. It's drinkable, and I like my bourbon on ice. Whiskeys, bourbons, whatever, tequila. So, cheers, Tagay. For those of you who are new, Tagay is cheers in Tagalog, which is Filipino language, and that's for my in-laws that are over in the Philippines. Sometimes they can watch, sometimes they drop in, and of course we try to keep in touch with them as much as possible. So, alrighty. So what do we got? New news on the channel. Not a lot to report. Didn't get down to much this weekend. Plans changed, and so didn't get much done in the studio. I am looking at changing from OBS to StreamYard. I got the chance to go on a members chat with Midnight's Edge, and of course they use StreamYard, and I was kind of impressed with how smooth everything worked, and how much more flexible StreamYard seems to be. I still need to do some research in it, and if I decide to go forward with it, I'm going to have to pay for it. So I'm going to look hard at that before I do it, although it's not nearly as much as I was spending to do the audio podcasting, which brings me to, it's a nice segue, I guess. I did decide to cancel the audio podcast. I am spending all of my available time on this video side of things, and to spend more time yanking the audio feed and continuing to put it up when the audio side just wasn't getting any traction, at least none that I could see. Which I'm a little sad about that, because that's where I started it at. I'd always planned to add the video component and then just do it the opposite way around. But right now I'm spending so much time doing just this as it is, and I just really feel like this is the best way for me to stay right now, because this is where I'm enjoying it. I'm getting better traction this way. Not that that's all it's about, but it's gratifying to see that, like, oh yeah, I'm actually getting something going here. So I'll be I canceled it, but I think it runs through the end of the year. So I don't think it'll go away immediately. But all the audio podcast episodes are on the YouTube channel, and so those will stay there. So I'm happy about that. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Everything's going really well. The channel's continuing to do good numbers. It's continuing to grow. Watch hours are going, which is, a really big thing. So, but yeah, not a lot of stuff going on. We're getting into the holiday season. I'm going to do my best to be as consistent as I can during that time period, which, can be quite hectic. I'm pretty sure you won't see me live stream on Thanksgiving. I won't be here. I'll be with family, enjoying probably too much food and things of that nature. So, all right. So, last time we talked, the last time I did a stream, I said something that I know some people would disagree with or don't like, a phrase, and I'm not a fan of the phrase. So, I said that the Panthers game was a must-win game. And I still hold by that. Not must-win as in the season's over if they don't win it, but for the sake of the mindset and the outlook of the team, going into the bye with some momentum, because we did not do that last year, even though things obviously went overall pretty well last year. We didn't do that last year. They, the Bengals. Um, but there's something about this year that felt like that momentum was necessary. Just because of how strangely this year started, the O-line was really, really having to play catch-up on the fly on the field. 5 guys who've never played next to each other before. So that's something. And then, of course, Burrow's appendectomy. That didn't help. That really kind of set things back. So I really this and it feels like this season that the team has been doing these. It's kind of like fits and starts, or sputtering like an engine, it's trying to run smooth, but it's just not quite there. And it has little periods of time where things get real smooth, and then it kind of starts sputtering again. And I really felt like this game was necessary, that they needed to win, period. No matter how, no, by 1 point or 20. Of course, in this case, 20, 21. Right? So I really, I felt like they needed to win. Not to mention with the defense being depleted, TJ Reader out, Chidobe is out for the season. Hilton was out, and I mean, defense kind of has their back up against the wall a little bit. You got Eli Apple out there who's he's been dealing with a hamstring issue. Hendrickson's dinged up. Logan Wilson's not 100%. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. And but I'll tell you what. Long story short, my brother-in-law ended up getting tickets to the game through I can't remember how he got them. Tickets that were going to go to waste, and he had the chance to take them, and so we did. Had a fantastic time at the game. Beautiful day. I mean, it was a wonderful day to be there. I used to have season tickets a long time ago, and not that I hate being at the stadium, but I'll just say, I guess, for a while there, these were during the Palmer years, 06 to 09. I think 4 straight years we had it. And let's just say it got it out of my system, the whole going down there every day, tailgate experience every Sunday. And not that I hated it. I didn't hate it at all. But there were times when, and some of it was the nature of the teams those years. There's a little bit of a chore to it in some of those bad years. So I'm still always a little torn. I like going to the games, but I'll be honest with you, I absolutely hate the cold. I hate it. I hate it with a burning, burning passion. I despise being cold, and part of that's I used to be an electrician, and getting stuck outside in the winter. It gives you a deep hatred of the cold, and some would say, well, the heat's in the tools, basically saying if you get to work, you'll be warm. Bullshit. Some days are so cold it don't matter. So, but I love the stadium experience. I will say the stadium experience is quite a bit better than it used to be. I went to some games during the Dalton years, not a lot of them, but I did go to some. After letting go season tickets, I kind of decided I would kind of every so often I'd pick and choose a game or two. I'd pick a game or two to try to go for. And so I still like being there on game day, and being in the stadium is a different experience. Very different. The crowd's infectious. The energy in the stadium is amazing. So we got a chance to go. Really had a great day. It was wonderful, beautiful weather the whole time. And yeah, it was oh, that was awesome. I mean, to sit there and be able to damn near put your feet up at halftime and know that almost no matter what happens, it's game's over. It's over. That short of the hand of God, it ain't changing. So that was great. Um, so I love that they came out and they ran, what was it, 90 yards, I believe, the opening kickoff, I mean the opening drive starting point. Was it? Did it go back to the 10 on? I think it was a penalty. So that's the thing, is in the stadium, it's hard, especially at the vantage point I was at. I can't remember as well as I can when I watch it on TV. Um, Certain flags, although I think there was something there that was flagged. I can't remember what it was. Um, I don't think it was fair caught at the 10. I don't remember that. So, excuse me. Um, so we had a great time. And that opening drive, just, man, they just marched that puppy right down the field. And of course, it is now going to be known as Joe Mixon game. It's obviously the Joe Mixon game. Um, he ran it right on in, and then the next. I don't think it was the next two. I think it was just the very next drive. Um, that's really annoying. That's in my way. There we go. That's out of my way now. So I'm trying to think here. I know the next drive sputtered out, which was a little concerning because it's like, oh boy, okay, we got up 7, and now all of a sudden we can't seem to, like we just sputtered out that second round. Well, thankfully that was just a blip, because after that we just ran all over them. I mean, it was bad. It's not very common in the NFL that you see a team absolutely blow another team out of the water, and just almost almost to an insulting degree. That was, I mean, that was terrible for the Panthers. Not that I'm crying any tears over or anything like that. There we go. Yeah, I wanted to see a breakdown because I know obviously we scored a shit ton of points, but I know they did not. Well, at least not until the game was over, pretty much. But there we go. That's what I want to see. So, when you put up 5 touchdowns by the half and your defense makes sure that they put on 0, let's call that a successful game all around. I mean, there's no qualifiers for that. We don't need to get this. There we go. We don't need to, qualify that very much at all. And sorry, cable management issues. There we go. So, there's it kind of makes the game a little hard to talk about because everything was great, right? I mean, not everything. Almost everything was great. There's a couple things that the game was so far out of reach for the Panthers that it didn't really matter, and it's easy to overlook them. So we're going to talk about a few things that are concerns. I don't know if I want to call them ugly because they never got a chance to be ugly, but less than ideal, not very good. Yeah, well, there's a couple things. Pretty minimal stuff, thankfully. But that's what happens when you're up 35-0 at the half. Yeah, I think. Okay, where's it at? Oh, all drives. There we go. Yeah. We punted twice in the first half of the game. That's pretty bad for them. Jeez. So, let's get to some of the things in the game. You know, we've got... I know some people... Let's get this one out of the way, because this is one that I want to talk about in this particular... the bad or ugly category, depending on how you want to look at it. I want to talk about it so that I can fully disagree. The Baker Mayfield thing, okay? I don't care. You know, what was it? Let's see here. He had... It was 14 of 20 for 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a crazy 126 rating against the Bengals. That's about all I'm going to go with. That's what I got there. So what? So what? Who cares? It doesn't mean anything. And I've got 2 things that I'm going to point out to support why I think the whole Baker Mayfield coming in and he's starting to sling it all over the place against the Bengals doesn't mean anything. I know he abused the Bengals when he was with the Browns, or at least abused the defense, you know. But it doesn't mean anything. So reason number 1 is there are lots of quarterbacks who have made careers. Well, I shouldn't say there's lots of quarterbacks, but there are quarterbacks that have made their careers, inflated their value on garbage time stats. Or you know, you're down so much that you're just going to have to throw it the whole time, all the time, every time. And everybody knows it. Look at Matt Stafford. And this is not to say that he's not a good quarterback. I mean, last year showed he was a good quarterback that was on a really bad team for a long time. But that really bad team up there in Detroit that he was on, that's why a lot of his stats are so damn high. They were always behind. So he's always flinging it. And he's just slinging it down, up and down the field, constantly throwing because they're always down. 1 score, 2 score, 3 score, 4 score, whatever. Now, why couldn't PJ Walker do that? Let's just say I think he was so shell-shocked, so rattled, that sometimes it's just, you never, it's, you know, it's the line from The Replacements. It's like quicksand. Replacements is a highly underrated football movie. It's an excellent football movie. One of my faves. Right alongside Remember the Titans and Varsity Blues. Although Varsity Blues isn't exactly a hardcore football movie, but it is a football movie. And I love those movies. But, you know, I just think PJ Walker was never going to get right in that game. I mean, he was absolutely flustered, flummoxed. And I think we did get some pressure on him. I don't know if we sacked him very much, but I know we did get some pressure on him. Stats. There we go. That's what I want to see. All right. What the heck is this? Bengals. Yeah, I don't want Panther stats. I don't care about their stats. Did we sack him at all? Oh, we did not. Interesting. I would have thought we had sacked him by a little bit, but we did. Interceptions, fumbles. You know, they were all over him. So Baker Mayfield gets to come in, and of course he's juiced up because he knows this is one of his, probably his few chances he's going to get to show anybody in the league that, hey, I'm not washed up. I still got juice. So that's reason number one. I just don't think the whole like him coming in and making some hay in the end of a game that is an absolute blowout is really going to do anything. That doesn't mean anything. People want to make a big deal out of that, and I just don't. I'm sorry, I just don't. He was always going to make some hay because, quite frankly, the defense at that point was just trying to make sure that whatever drives they did have took really long time so that there's no way they get back in the game. That's what I say. I said there were two reasons, and that's amazing because I forgot the second one right now. It'll come back to me. But I don't care about the Baker Mayfield thing, and if the second reason comes up again, I'm gonna bring it up because I had it right on the top of my head, and garbage time stats, and haha, got it. Here's the second reason why it doesn't matter. Because last time I checked, and I could be wrong, but last time I checked, who is the starting quarterback tonight on this wonderful Thursday night football game that is just amazing? Who's the starting quarterback tonight? Let's see. I'm bringing it up right now. I know who was announced to be PJ Walker, which tells you that they don't really care. Let's see here. Yep, PJ Walker's out there throwing passes tonight again. So another reason why it doesn't matter is because it doesn't matter to the Panthers. They don't see Baker as a starter for whatever reason, and it could be personal. Who knows? Maybe he's turned into a locker room cancer ever since he got benched. I don't know. I don't care. But that's why it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't even matter to the team that got on the board 21 points in the last half. It didn't even matter to them. So if it doesn't matter to them, I'm not going to let it bother me. And I would suggest you don't lose any sleep over it either. So the other negative thing, or well, another not very good thing is injuries. Still don't know what's going on with Dax Hill and Chris Evans. It sounds like they're going to be week to week or day to day. But it's not good. Dax went out with a shoulder issue. Chris Evans went out with a knee. With Chris Evans, I think it was a PCL. With Dax, I can't remember what his issue was. Did they ever announce the injuries? What the injuries were? I never saw anything on it. That's weird. Anyway. So, I mean, it doesn't sound season ending, which is good, but it's a little disappointing to see Dax go down when he's just starting to get his feet wet this year. And of course, there's a decent chance we're going to need him to take over Jesse Bates' spot next year. Maybe we don't. He ain't gone until he's gone. But just there's the chance for that. We know that. But the defense did a really good job overall. Despite the loss of Dax Hill and sadly, Chris Evans didn't really. I think he didn't he make one catch? I think he made one catch, and then we were kind of wondering like, what the heck's wrong with why isn't he back out there some more? So hopefully they come back fast. That's a sad thing. So two other things, small things, but yeah, the pass rush not getting home, not getting a single sack, that is a bad thing. Seeing the stats there, I thought they did get to him. But like I said, with the angle I'm watching at, I can't always see that. I couldn't always see that versus watching on TV. The real concerning thing is the kicking game. And I say concerning as in it can be fixed and it needs to get fixed. One thing is the punting. And I'm sorry, but Kevin Huber just still doesn't look good. His leg looks shot. It's sad, but his leg just does not look good. He looks tired. He's not booming it with authority anymore. So, that wasn't good. And then McPherson missed a field goal. Again. Now, I know McPherson did an interview with James Rapine at Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I know he, just took it all on himself, just said he's got to work on it, get better. And I love that he's, the kind of guy who can miss 4 or 5 kicks in practice and then go out and make 3 or 4 kicks in a playoff game. So I love that part, but I don't know if he's trying to, not, he seems like a class guy. He's not going to sit here and say that the long snapper snapped it too high or the holder didn't hold it right. He's not going to say it. He's going to say, "Yeah, I thought it was fine," and and then I put my foot on it. As soon as I put my foot on it, it just went the wrong way, and I'm just going to work on it. And that's good, but come on. Something's wrong in that kicking operation. I don't know what it is. Nobody's really saying anything, and nobody who's been watching film tape seems to be able to pick out anything, at least nothing that they've said. So I don't know if it's Cal Adamitis. I don't know if it's Huber as a holder. I don't know if it's the snapping operation or if it's just McPherson putting his foot wrong. Making contact with the ball, less than ideal. But I think those things can get fixed, though. A little practice, yeah, I don't see them being something they can't fix and get better with. So, got to give a big shout out though. Almost forgot. Well, I did forget until just now. Got to give a big shout out because that picture that's the thumbnail for this stream. So a lot of times I'll just find an image out there that I can use, and but this one is actually with me in it, and let's see here. There we go. So a couple lovely ladies there with me because Who-Dey came up to the section and was able to get a selfie. Patty O'Toole and Debbie Thomas, and thank you so much for letting me use the picture. And it was really fun, and turned around and saw Who-Dey up there, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, great. Took my picture as quick as I could. But yeah, so it was really good, and it was like watching the running game really take life. We're gonna get into the good now, obviously. That's the real big story. Well, I'll take that back. There's 2 big stories here. There's the one that's obvious. Let's go with that. Joe Mixon. Joe and the line and the wide receivers, they were all on the same page. They were blocking like pro bowlers. Just moving people out of the way, opening up gigantic holes, and then Mixon was running with intention and violence and forward progress, making those guys miss, or when the contact was inevitable, running them over. It was really beautiful to see. I haven't seen him run like that in a while. At least not since last year. You know what I mean? So it was really great to see it, and it was just like just watching him just rack off big run after big run after big run after big run. So I really like that because what that tells me is, one, they can do it. Say what you want about the Carolina Panthers. Their run defense is actually really good. It's their pass defense that's crap. I'm not saying they're the best, but I think they're like, I don't know, top 7 in the league, something like that, in run D. You wouldn't have, you couldn't tell on Sunday. They look like they were the 31st or 32nd team in the league against the run. But that was really great. The other side of it, though, the thing that I think gets overlooked, and there we go. The other thing that hasn't been talked about quite as much. We all know Burrow loves that deep shot. He's always looking for that deep hole shot. The home run hitter. And while they did take a couple shots downfield, not very many though, what I saw was Burrow and the offense, the running offense and the passing offense, they played patient. They took what was there. They didn't get frustrated with a bunch of 8-yard, 12-yard completions. They just took them and just kept marching right on down the field with like a almost like an inevitable consistency. It was inevitable they were going to get to the end zone, especially after the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the fifth, and you know what I mean. And so that snowball effect for the Carolina defense could be there as far as just demoralizing. But they took exactly what was there. They didn't go looking for things that weren't there. They didn't. Burrow was patient to take the 8-yard, 10-yard, 12-yard, 7-yard, whatever, and just march it right down the damn field. They actually had a few screen passes really work well. But all this was a compliment to the fact that the running game was just unstoppable. But even with the running game being unstoppable, they didn't really bother taking too many deep shots. They took a couple quick tries, nothing major. And but that's one thing that I think gets overlooked with, everybody, going gaga over Mixon's performance, and rightfully so. It's it's historic as far as the Bengals are concerned, Bengals record books, but it's still pretty far up there with NFL games. So, but I just didn't want to lose that part in the other side of it. That Burrow and the offense and the way that they approached it, they played patiently. They took what was there and they just kept marching it down the field 8 yards at a time, 12 yards at a time. 7 yards here, 13 yards there. Just kept taking it and just going and going and going. And Hayden Hurst made a couple really big plays. Of course, Tyler Boyd played clutch as he usually does. Higgins had a couple decent catches. It wasn't a major game on the passing side, but Burrow was phenomenally efficient. And that's a huge key to a game. Be efficient. Don't turn the ball over. Run it well. And then take what the defense is giving you with the passing. If they want to give you 7 yards all day, it might be a little frustrating because it's a little slow. Hey, it's fine. 7 yards per play is you'll never be out of second down, or you never go past second down. Obviously it doesn't work that way, but I digress. So anyway, the game was phenomenal. It was wonderful to watch, and it was nice. It was a wonderful palate cleanser after Monday night's debacle. So, going into the bye, they're 5-4, 3-3 in the division. Realistically, they need to be 10-7 to be in the playoffs. I don't even know that wins you the AFC North right now. They need the Ravens to fall off in a big way, and, well, unfortunately, Andy Dalton and the Saints went all Andy Dalton on Monday Night Football with those bright lights, and he gets scared like fucking Gizmo. Hold on. Sorry. My son's knocking on the door asking me if I'm done in here, and it's like, no, I'm not. I told you I wouldn't be. So anyway, um, but you know, it's it was really really awesome to watch. Really good palate cleanser, and we're going in through the bye now, and you really feel like they got to get 5 more wins. I don't even. I just said before, I don't know if that'll win the AFC North. I really don't know if it will. I don't know that that's going to be enough. The Ravens need to fall off. Andy Dalton gave a typical Monday night Andy Dalton performance. Got scared of bright lights. Although I will say, his line wasn't doing a very good job blocking for him. But so the Saints aren't going to step up and take him down. I don't know who will. I'd like to think that they'll lose a game or two somewhere along the way. But unfortunately, their upcoming opponents for the rest of the season are really not a big deal. Most of them don't seem to be very good. A couple of them might come up out of somewhere. But right now, getting into the playoffs is the most important thing. Whether you get in as a division winner or not, obviously it's better to be a division winner. Right now, getting in is the most important thing that the Bengals can do. And I've heard other people say it. I agree. 10-7 is the minimum. Means winning 5 more games. And I don't think there's not too many where you go, that's kind of a gimme or that's a win. But this team can win 5 games. Hopefully they win more. I mean, it'd be great if they just win out the rest of the way. But this team can win 5 more games. And they're going to have to. If they want to keep, the trip to Arizona alive in their future for this year, they're going to have to win 5 more games. So, what are they going to do over the bye week? I think during the bye week they're going to have to. I hate to say this, but I think they're going to have to bench or cut or however you term that with part ways with Kevin Huber. They're going to have to elevate Drew Chrisman, and they're just going to have to go with him. And, Kevin Huber is not changing the field. When it comes to punting, he's not keeping these teams pinned back deep where the defense has a chance to really potentially make some hay right there up against the end zone. His punts are averaging like 40-something yards a punt. That's not what Kevin Huber used to be able to do. So I think that they will, if they're smart, I don't know, do they need to see one more game of really, really bad punting? Not to mention the shanking. And thankfully, Kevin Huber didn't have a chance to shank a punt. I don't think he shanked a punt against Carolina. But it's his. I don't even think his punts against Carolina look good. So, what else might they do? There's a chance they might kick some tires on some cornerbacks, although there's not much out there. I don't know whatever happened to that cornerback from Seattle that got cut after they couldn't trade him. So I don't know what's going on there. But there's not a lot to sign. So I still think they're going to want to try to get someone. Good news front, DJ Reader is very likely back for the Pittsburgh game. Unfortunately, so is TJ Watt, to my knowledge, last time I heard. But we'll need DJ Reader back. I don't know when Chase is coming back. I don't know if he's going to be back for Pittsburgh or maybe the week after, but we'll see. Uh, as long as as long as he's 100% and or whatever, as close to 100% as a human being can be this late into a football season. Um, I hope he's back as fast as possible. But I hope with this running performance that they were able to pull off, that they can figure out what made that work so well and continue that going forward, take that momentum and let it drive them forward. That'd be great to watch Joe Mixon just absolutely run all over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that'll happen. Pittsburgh Steelers typically don't let that happen, but it'd still be nice. I'd love to watch that. So what else would they? What else in the bye week? Obviously, good chance for some people, some dings and dents to get healed up, get to feeling better. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I was very stoked when the that first touchdown went just like that, and then another and another and another, to the point where we're just all laughing. And we had a couple Panthers fans nearby that they were joking about, you know, just keep playing PJ so we can get the, basically tanking for the first overall pick. I can't remember how they termed it, but it was funny. Of course, we've been there, haven't we? Oh, there's been a couple years where I was like, man, I got tired of Andy Dalton being just good enough to keep us from getting a good pick. And it's like, I know we're not going to be good. We had a couple, like, 6 and 10 years or something like that. And it was just like, can you, like, if we're not going to be good, can we really suck? Like, because I don't want to be middling, especially with Andy there, knowing that Andy's not the answer. He had some good years. Of course, he had really good team around him. So I get those guys on the Panthers team or the Panthers fans talking about that because I've been there before. And sometimes you have a decent quarterback, but you can tell they're limited. They're only so good, and then all of a sudden, you get a real quarterback. You get like a true franchise kind of guy, and you're like, oh, this is what a quarterback looks like. Oh, okay. This is what leadership and calm determination in the face of you know under fire, you know calm under fire. That's what it looks like. So, um, let's see what we got left here in the. Let's see. There we go. Teams. There we go. So let's see here. We've got Steelers, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Bucks, Patriots, Bills, Ravens. So we have been flexed out. In case you didn't already know, which most everybody probably heard it by now, we have been flexed out of the Sunday night time slot, been slotted back into 425, which is actually kind of okay. I know some people are kind of a little hurt about it, but I think that has more to do with the Steelers very likely not being in the conversation this year, playoff conversation. I don't think it has as much to do with the Bengals. And so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, we've got a couple 425s. Steelers, Chiefs, Bucks. That's not bad. Monday night against the Bills. Don't know about the Ravens yet. Don't know what that's going to be announced time frame as. The rest are all 1 o'clocks. They got to come out the gate and beat the Steelers and the Titans. I think really to capitalize on the momentum going into the bye week. Chiefs are going to be real when they get to it, when they come here. And then the Titans, I don't know what to make of them. I know they're starting Malik Willis. I haven't really watched him play. I don't know if he looks like he's got juice in him. But a lot of people said that, at least some people I heard that were talking about the game, you know, national people, stuff like that, sounded like that they looked better when Tannehill was under center. Of course, he's, kid's a rookie. I don't know what he's going to be. But yeah, I'd very much like to see Kenny Pickett's first game against the Bengals go very poorly for him. Very, very, very poorly. Like maybe even PJ Walker poorly would be nice. But I'll talk about it a little closer to the time. I don't know if the line's been released or anything like that. I'll talk about that later. But for right now, I'm just going to say this is enjoyable. You know, I was joking with some of the people around us at the stadium, and I said, no matter what, I get to feel good for 2 weeks. you know, because of the bye week and everything. It's just great. It's going into the bye with this kind of that feel good kind of game, that just complete ownership of another team. It's a really good palate cleanser for what happened with the Browns, and I think this team can capitalize on that coming out of the bye, and against the Steelers on the 20th at 4:25. Yeah, 4:25. So I know T.J. Watt's going to be back. At least he's supposed to be, and that's less than ideal. But if you can run like that, you can make someone like T.J. Watt not matter as much. If you can run like that, it doesn't allow the defense to pin their ears back and just go after the quarterback. It means they actually have to play the run, and they have to lose that split second of reaction time to check to see whether it's a run or a pass play. And that's huge. Slowing down a defensive end by even a half second is the difference between a completion and a sack. So I'm hoping that they can take that running game and just keep projecting it forward. I'm hoping it's because they learned something, they discovered something about themselves. And no team is different, or no team is the same. It's not like you're going up against the Carolina Panthers just dressed up as the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'm hoping that they can learn what was the secret in the sauce that worked for them, and is that something that they can just keep doing, or something that they can just say, hey, we did it this way against them, but now we're against the Steelers, and we think this thing will work this way against them, and just keep that momentum going, keep that run game going. And I think it's going to help out dramatically if they can keep that run game lively. Joe keeps running with that intention, that forward progress, that violence. And then whenever Chase comes back, let's just not forget how to run the ball. And that's going to open it up for Chase and Higgins and Boyd and Hurst and, whoever. I did like, though, real quick, I just thought about this. They actually ran some jet sweeps with Trenton Irwin and Trent Taylor, and they worked. But everybody was out there blocking like an absolute fiend. I mean, some of that blocking was like, man, I don't remember the last time I saw them block like this. And that's not just the line. That was wide receivers, that's tight ends, that's Joe Mixon picking up his blocking assignments and doing a good job. Everybody was on the same page. Everybody had the proper amount of fire lit under their ass going into this game, and it showed. So I'm pretty... I don't want to sit here and say that, like, oh yeah, we got this. We've got a real schedule coming up. But these games are winnable. The Bills are not unbeatable. The Patriots are definitely not unbeatable. The Bucks look very mortal this year. The Browns are just a demon that needs to be exorcised. And it will. At some point, they will beat the Browns. Will it be in Week 14? Shit, I hope so. We need to. I don't know why the Browns have become our problem, but they have, and that's okay. We just need to take care of it. But the Browns are beatable. The Chiefs are beatable. The Titans are beatable. The Steelers are really beatable. That doesn't mean they're terrible. Steelers are good enough. They're a division foe. They're always good enough to beat us. Same thing with the Ravens, same thing with the Browns. It's division, it's different. But they're beatable. The Steelers are not a juggernaut. Neither are the Titans right now. They're a good enough team, but they're beatable. We've beat the Chiefs. Doesn't mean we're going to do it this year, but we have beat them before. We know how to. It can be done. None of these teams are unbeatable, and that's the thing I guess that I want to keep in mind as a fan. I imagine they're keeping in mind. They're keeping next team in mind. So, but we'll wrap it up with that. It's a little, like I said, it's like there's almost too much good, like, and it's hard to have a lot of nuance when they just ran the shit out of the ball, and Burrow was patient when it came time to throwing it. He took what was there, and they just marched down the field. Like I said, like it was inevitable that they were going to get to the end zone every single time. I'm sure the Carolina Panthers defense probably felt that way after a while too. So let's see. Well, if you're watching this right now, if you want to, anybody watching this right now, if you want to drop a couple comments, I'll be happy to answer them or respond to them. Or if you want my thought on something or want to ask a question, create a little conversation, that's fine. I'd love to hear from you. So I should be able to. I don't know if I will stream next week since we're on a bye week. Well, this is the bye week. Never mind. This is the bye week. I might stream next week, but the only thing I can talk about is looking forward to the Pittsburgh game. So I don't know if he'll stream. I might wait until after the Pittsburgh game. What do I think they'll do against the Steelers? I'm just gonna make my prediction. By the way, I was way off on my prediction for the Panthers game. I think I said 21-18. I was way off. Happy to be wrong, by the way. So Steelers game. I think they're going to come out ready to go, knowing what the the task ahead of them is. I say they go 28-14 against the Steelers. Bengals win 28-14. That's what I think. I hope I'm right. And if I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong and just the points. But Bengals win. So, so if you like what you hear here, and eventually, long term, I might spin this off into its own channel. But for right now, I'm trying to grow this channel and get it going, and then I can spend time on a secondary channel for the for the Bengals stuff. But for right now, everything's here at Way of the Dad. Like I said, I did discontinue, I think it'll go through the end of the year, but I did discontinue the audio version of the podcast just because right now it's a lot of money and it's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. This is doing things, and I spend enough time on this as it is. So, but if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you do get notified when posts go up on the community tab, and that's usually like me letting you know when something's going to happen, or a poll, or whatever. Also, when streams are going to go live, I've been doing a better job of like pre-scheduling them, and then when new videos are going to drop here. And if you do like what you're hearing here, please share the video. Please share it with your friends, people who might have a interest in that, and that helps the channel to grow quite a bit as well. And I very much appreciate any help you can sharing it on social media and subscribing and things like that. It gives me a reason to, it makes me feel good about coming out here and doing this. I love doing it. And, that feedback is just keeps it going and just keeps making it real light and fun. So, that'll probably about do it. Got a, I don't know, depending on where you're at, but if you're here in the Midwest area or the Ohio Valley area, Cincinnati-ish, area. It is about to get real here starting tomorrow with a lot of rain coming in, and it's going to get quite a bit colder. We're 70 something today, and by Saturday it's going to be 40 to 45, something like that, for like the next week. So that's a little disappointing. But hey, the studio is insulated now, so I won't be freezing my butt off out here to talk to you. So, cheers, and until next time, take care. Who-Dey, and have a great day.